Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal, the Crystalline Priestess, intuitive evolutionary astrologer and psychic tarot reader, and today's daily horoscope is for Friday, the 6th of September 2024. So guys, not much has changed obviously since yesterday, but the moon is at least coming off of this really powerful, intense conjunction we just had. Venus has moved off it. It's not as strong, although it's still very much in effect. It's not quite as potent today, so we're starting to see some healing, I think, coming in from yesterday's hecticness. So the vibe I'm actually really particularly getting for Friday is really about us, like, I keep hearing aesthetic, I keep seeing beauty, I keep just seeing like us looking in the mirror and saying, I really am beautiful. And even if like you don't look the way that you want to look, it feels as though like this is a week of us having to accept that we are beautiful the way we are, which, you know, it sounds so cliche, just like that, but it's true. And I feel as though with the moon making a really nice trine over to Jupiter today, it feels as though this is a little bit of like a positive break coming after just so much really intense energy that had us like realizing just not so much restriction, but how much we, with this loss coming out, emotional loss, and then we have recognition and reward, it's how much we have sort of had to let go, parts of ourselves that we've had to let go, people we've had to let go. Like, it feels as though chapters of life that we realize that we're releasing. And it feels as though Friday today is like this day where it's like, okay, I think I can do this with the square, with the trine over to Jupiter. It's like, I think I can actually make this happen if I utilize the environment around me, if I utilize my friends, if I utilize the people that I feel comfortable with. It feels as though there's this need on Friday to talk it out and, you know, maybe just be honest with your friends and just say how you're feeling, and you might be surprised and find that they're actually feeling the same way. They're actually going through their own sense of loss, their own sense of feeling as though something's missing. And with this recognition and reward card to come out so much this week, it feels as though it's not a week of feeling, you know, this is not a failure week. This is not a week where we put effort into something and nothing happens. It feels as though we are actually making progress. It just feels as though maybe that progress is coming and it's hitting us in a way we didn't expect, because we, you know, life's sort of gotten to a point where we've had to release so much to get to this point. We've had to say goodbye to so many things in order to reach this part. And so it's almost melancholy. It's almost a little bit bittersweet, I suppose, Friday, where it feels like, yeah, things are improving, things are getting better, but there's almost a sadness in that version of myself that I'm leaving behind. You know, maybe it's like you're starting now to get more responsibility at work, your career is starting to become more strong, people are starting to notice you, you know, you're starting to become someone in your career. And as exciting and happy and joyful and great as that is, and has how much you've wanted this, there is a little bit of a loss that is coming through with that, because you're also having to say goodbye to the version of yourself that you were while you were building into that. So maybe you had not much responsibility. Maybe you had a lot more free time in the past. Maybe you had a lot more, you know, ability to just drop everything and just ditch work for the day and just go do your thing. You know, maybe you had that freedom in the past, and maybe this recognition is causing you to actually have to do more. Maybe it's causing you to have to take more on, and that's hard, that's difficult, that's uncomfortable, of course, because of course it is. Like, we're dealing with a different version of ourselves. We're dealing with a version of ourselves that we haven't been before. Like I was saying yesterday, we're still trying to move through this level up that is saying, oh my god, I'm stepping in this power and I'm not used to it. So we had the strength card coming out for us, and this card is just jumping everywhere at the moment. You know, and this feels as though this is like us getting that lion heart back out. You know, we have Mercury that's moving into his square with Uranus over the next few days. So he's at 25 degrees and he's coming back to that yod point where we've talked about this a lot, and especially if you've been on my Instagram, you would have seen me talking about these yods that we have been having between Pluto and Neptune and Mercury, and you know, we had the Sun and we've had Venus. We've had so much reach this Yod point. So now we're about to have Mercury direct go back over this Yod point over the next week. So this is definitely a time that has us, I think, with the square that's building to Uranus, it's a spontaneous power that we're standing in, a spontaneous recognition, but at the same time that comes with a sense of loss because there is something we have to let go of. Maybe it's a habit, maybe it's an addiction, maybe it's a way of life, maybe it's, I'm thinking of my friend as an example who is becoming a jockey, and she's doing amazing, but she has to give up eating food. Not entirely, but you know, she has to give up eating shit. She has to give up eating the most delicious, carb-laden, crazy foods that you could imagine so that she can be in the weight class that she needs to be in order to ride the horse and win the race. You know, so the sacrifices that people are having to make at the moment in order to reach their level of recognition and success and their power. But those sacrifices are actually what make you feel strong and powerful. Discipline is actually what makes you feel powerful, and that's why Saturn is one of the most powerful planets that we have in the solar system, but it's also the planet that holds the physical reality together. Saturn needs discipline because discipline equals power, because structure equals power. Being structured creates power, and I'm getting the craziest, I'm sorry, I have to scratch it. I get a crazy itchy nose when like I'm really hitting a point, and that one was just like horrible. Oh my god. So yeah, it's really about this power and building this spiritual foundation on your own strength. And I actually like this emotional loss card. It's not giving me sad vibes because it's almost giving me this, with the way he's holding his heart, it feels as though you're holding this version of you, you're holding the past in your heart and holding it and saying, I love you and I love this, but I'm ready now for something new. I'm ready for the change. I'm ready to shine. I feel like there's a shine that we're all sort of trying to move towards at the moment. And with this Mercury Yod that's building again, it's definitely, we've been like, the universe has been trying over the past few weeks, over the past month, to really have us clear out the cobwebs and to really have us figure out what it is that we need to change in our day-to-day lives, in our daily structure, in our way that we even sort of receive information, in the way that we're even maybe thinking at the moment. It's a restructuring of that, because there needs to be more discernment spiritually and collectively because of these transits, because of the time that we're living in. We're needing to be more awake and aware than any other time. So we have the lover, the mother, and the warrior archetype, which is a strange combination, honestly. So this is definitely like, Friday is a day where it's about different sides, different elements of ourselves, different ways of working. You know, we have this warrior that says strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. And that's very much Sun still opposing Saturn, and it's only getting stronger. So this is us needing to conquer that ego. You know, the Sun is the ego, Saturn is pretty much here to say, when it's in an opposition, it's here to say we're having an ego battle. We're having an ego war at the moment. So it's very much, you know, having that toughness of will, having that strength and that power in your own discipline. Like I said, Mars is in Cancer now. So Mars being in Cancer is uncomfortable. So there is a feeling of us feeling emotionally like there's a lot of emotional sludge to work through in order to move forward in what it is that we're wanting to do and achieve. And you know, our drive feels a little bit watered down. And so this warrior archetype is saying that in order to feel called and to move in this like potent energy, to move in your Mars energy, you have to be connected to something that you love. You have to be connected to something that feels as though it's nurturing to yourself. Cancer. So the lover archetype says great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. The shadow attribute is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. So this is very much us coming off this really intense Libra, massive sort of like stellium that we have over here, that we have with the moon, south node, Lilith, and Venus. This is us needing to not, because with Lilith being there and Venus in the south node, we could be be becoming obsessed with the past, and that's the thing with emotional loss as well. We could be becoming obsessed with the past and just be over allowing ourselves to go down past rabbit holes, allowing ourselves to get too nostalgic. So Friday is about, you know, being in that love energy, but also being a warrior and knowing when enough is enough. Like, not to get too over obsessed with something to the point where it becomes self-destructive. So it may be helpful for you to be thinking about the past on Friday, but it might not be super constructive for you to spend the whole day dwelling, you know, and being in a bit of a lost energy. It's about needing to find your sense of strength and power, even though you might be feeling a little bit shitty, even though you might be feeling a bit lost and a bit sad and a bit down. This is really, you know, seeing yourself as, this is very much warrior. Seeing yourself as much stronger than you are. And that's the thing with this opposition with the North Node in Aries and with Chiron being there. It's a feeling like none of us feel as though we're as strong as we think we are. We don't feel as physically strong, emotionally strong, all these sorts of things. So it's feeling like the best thing that we could be doing is focusing on, you know, our sense of discipline and our willpower, because that willpower and that sense of discipline makes us feel strong. When you're in something like a strong-willed disciplinary energy, and you're like making choices and doing things that are bringing you so much expansion and that you can see actually physically improving your life, it becomes the biggest motivator. It becomes a source of power because you start to see what it's actually physically doing in your life, and it is incredible. You know, it's a really amazing thing. So I feel as though it's definitely important that we be allowing ourselves to love this new version of ourselves, this new responsible us, you know what I mean? And then we have the mother archetype, which says nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. The shadow attributes is smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So this is the thing, it's definitely about becoming becoming independent and not needing, with Libra, not needing other people to tell you that you're doing the right thing. If you are on a path and you're on a journey and it feels right and it feels sovereign, and if you're instilling your willpower and your discipline and you're making things happen and other people around you don't understand it, it's not for them to understand. Let that shit go, please. Seriously. Moon trine Jupiter today is saying you're actually probably going to find that the people in your environment are actually more supportive of you than you've realized. And maybe it's about letting yourself trust that if you just keep walking this path and standing in your power, and the more you allow yourself to be powerful and to be strong-willed and to take charge and to use your discipline in a much more expansive way than you've used it in the past, it's going to really help you to make the right choices and to make the right judgments. We have Monk and Nun and the Judge at the bottom of the deck as well. So it feels as though this is a very spiritual week if you allow yourself to be you know, in the light of spirit while you're making these decisions, because the Judge is out here and Judge is Libra energy. And so we could be judging, finding that there's a lot of judgments coming in, there's a lot of us making judgments. The worst that you could be doing is just basically judging everyone else. This is about having judgment on yourself. This is about judging where you think you're at. The Monk and Nun archetype says selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. And that feels very similar to the Servant archetype that we had yesterday. So it feels as though there's still this need to be in pure devotion to what feels like it's actually, because Virgo is purity. So what feels pure and aligned in your heart? What feels like pure joy? What feels like a pure expression? What feels like a pure pure excitement for you to move towards? There has to be this level of purity, and it's like, this feels like a day where it's really important to not believe, I think, to not get lost in the weeds of believing that you need to, I'm feeling with that Monk and Nun, like, I'm feeling like show up spiritually perfect. Like, I'm feeling like, don't think that by you walking this path and being in this new power that you have to continuously show up perfect. You're allowed to stumble along the path. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to fall down and get up. Like, there's some crazy statistic, like when babies are babies and they're learning to walk, like it's something like thousands and thousands of times they will get back up and keep trying until they actually make it. And for some reason, as we grow older, we lose our resilience and we lose that ability to just get back up and keep trying, to just get back up and keep trying, to just get back up and keep trying. So this is about getting back up and keeping on trying and using the people around you as alliance. You know, alliance is the word. I feel as though the people around us, we need to be using them as alliances, as people that we can rely on, you know, new beginnings. Seeing things in a different way. Seeing the people around you in a more positive way. Oh my god, this wind is absolutely crazy. I need to go close this window. Hold on. Wild winds. So I feel like these winds are maybe like an example of just like the new energy that's trying to like breathe its way into our reality. So the new beginning is here, but with movement, choices and decisions. This is just Friday is a day of really making decisions, higher self decisions, decisions based in love, decisions based in power, decisions that feel like it's like, okay, I'm ready to do this thing, even though I have to let go of a version of myself that I really liked fucking around with, you know? So my loves, I'm going to leave this reading there. I love you guys so much. Do let me know in the comments what's going on with you. Please do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, because it helps to spread these videos to more astro lovers like you and me. If you would like to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, you can use my email address down below. My website's currently down, so you're gonna have to email me or Instagram me or comment down below if you want to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, but we can set that up super easy. I'd like to thank your angels, your ancestors, your higher self, your spirit guides, and all the beautiful benevolent beings that are surrounding you and I in all moments for allowing me to receive and to deliver this fabulous message for you. I love you guys so much. Make sure you check out your channel's song, and I will see you in the next reading. Peace.